Hi, this is me, Dara, and I'm here to talk about how to find the right partner faster. So, despite being a quirky type and not exactly a conventional beauty myself, I've never seemed to have much of a problem finding someone who not only accepts my quirks, but embraces them. And when people have asked me how I managed to do this, my advice is always the same: lead with the weird. I think one of the things that we tend to do, especially early on in relationships, is put our best foot forward, which is fine. You should do that. But sometimes we put our best foot forward to the degree that we actually begin to disguise and hide our quirks. And I really think this is a bad idea. Because ultimately, what happens is we spend our time investing in someone and getting to know someone who might not actually like us that much anyway, at least once they get to know us. Far better to put your quirks out there initially and let that do the weeding out for you. To give an example, with one boyfriend that I met in high school. When I met him, I was wearing a bright pink skirt over ripped, faded jeans, and this was not during that hot minute in the 2000s when that was trendy at all. My hair was red and green and looked like a Christmas tree. I had no idea how to flirt, so I filled his desk full of bouncy balls, because that's what you do. And then I marched over to him and informed him that he was taking me to the homecoming dance, and also we're together now, so he probably ought to remember this date because this is our anniversary now. And somehow that worked. And we were together for 7 happy years. I don't know. I must have just been the weirdo he was looking for. Or take my partner currently. When we first met, I was going through a bit of a Neptune-Pluto phase. So I met him wearing opera gloves and pearls and black lipstick, and I read to him selections from a feminist retelling of Bluebeard. And for some reason, he still wanted another date. And fast forward 3 or 4 months, and we're sitting around and watching Alice in Wonderland, and the scene with the walrus and the carpenter comes on, and I start bawling. And I don't mean like pretty lady cry with a little tear coming down my cheek. I mean just full ugly crying with the snot and everything. And he looked at me and said, "You know what? That's it. I've been thinking this for a while and I wasn't sure, but now I know. I love you." And me, being very graceful, responded, "That is great, and I definitely want to address that, but I am really focusing on grieving over these oysters right now." And again, for some reason, this worked. And what's really interesting is I found out later he was pretty highly sought after at the time. He had this Christian Slater, Corey Haim in the 80s, a little bit of John Travolta thrown in, kind of bad boy look, and he was wanted by quite a few ladies, and all of whom were so much prettier than me, at least conventionally speaking. Went on to be Instagram models and all of that. And when I asked him a few years later why on earth he decided to go with me when he had all these gorgeous women kind of fawning over him, what he said was, "You were different. I hadn't seen or met anything like you before, and I knew that no matter what happened, at least you wouldn't bore me. And you were kind of the weird I wanted." And all these years later, I think it's still true. I still don't think I've bored him. So I hope not. And that's the thing. This is the sort of thing that's possible for all of us. If you put those quirks out on the table initially, don't waste your time trying to make yourself smaller and fit yourself into a box so that more people will like you. Who cares if your quirks are off-putting to 99% of people? You don't want to date 99% of people. You're looking for that one person for whom your quirks aren't a bug, they're a feature. And when you keep yourself open to that, what you end up with is the possibility to have someone who, when they meet you and when they see how weird you are, is just overwhelmed with recognition and joy and relief at having finally found you. And you deserve that kind of love. We all do. So I say, let your freak flag fly. Wear your green eyeshadow and rollerblade in the snow and throw elaborate birthday parties for your dog and write your Simpsons fan fiction. And don't wait until you've been dating for 3 months to let the person know. Because somebody who can't stand your quirks on day 1 isn't going to like them anymore on day 90 or day 500. So why waste your time? Hold out for that one person for whom your quirks are perfection. This has been Midara. I hope it helped.